All right, everyone. We should be live. Hold on. All right, if you could hear me, put a heart in the audience. If you could hear me. Yes. All right, so you could hear me. I'll be live on YouTube during this training because I'm going to need um my eyes here, my screen. So if you want to hop over to my YouTube and watch it live, that would probably be a good idea. And hopefully you could hear me there. Let me uh just put it in the chat over there if you could hear me. All right. So what we're going to do in today's training, again, this is the first time I'm kind of testing this. If you want to watch me live, just go to the YouTube and you'll see me do this live. And if you're on YouTube, then just put some comments in the chat and let me know that you could hear me. So, we are going to take a transcript from a tutorial that I did on LinkedIn newsletters, and we are going to leverage that transcript and create an ebook, create carousels, get the best quotes from the transcript to then post and schedule on LinkedIn, so on and so forth. And if you want to watch this, I'm going to be on YouTube. So let me grab my channel link and I'll put it in the chat so that it's easier for everyone to find. Hold on. And if you could hear me on YouTube, just put that you could hear me in the chat too, because I'm about to just put my phone down and start. But let me add this to the comments. Hold on. Okay. I see some people on the YouTube. Can you hear me on YouTube? Okay, perfect. All right. So I just put my link to the YouTube channel in the comments. So you're going to watch me on here and hopefully you could hear me on both. This is amazing. I love you all. Let's start. So if you've ever heard of Descript, then just follow along. If you haven't, I'm going to walk you through the process, but I'll do a future live training where you could see my screen just leveraging Descript, okay? But if you have heard of Descript, then put it in the chat. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take, hold on, let me share my screen. How do I share my entire screen? Okay. So here, I'm going to take this video. So if you see my YouTube channel, you'll see this video. It says attract better leads with LinkedIn newsletters. What I'm doing in this training is I'm going to take the transcript from this video and we are going to create all of these things. So we're going to create the foundation for an ebook. We're going to extract the best quotes. We're going to create a carousel, an email sequence for my private newsletter, a LinkedIn newsletter, and transcript for short videos. Again, if you're watching on LinkedIn, hop over to YouTube because that's the last time that I'll say it. So if you could see my screen, you see Descript. Descript is a phenomenal application for you to upload videos and get the transcript for things. However, I would only recommend Descript over something like Otter.ai if you're actually going to do some video editing. If not, an app like Otter.ai will be sufficient enough for you to just grab the transcript of something. So I'm copying this transcript. And then what I'm going to do is go to Claude. Now, there are ways where you could do this with ChatGPT, but because of the 4,000 token limit on ChatGPT 4, we're going to leverage Claude because with Claude, you have 100,000 token limit, and I could copy and paste this entire transcript. As you could see, the training was 25 minutes long, so 24 minutes and 5.48 seconds. So I can copy and paste that entire thing. The ChatGPT, it'd be iffy. I don't think we'd be able to get the whole transcript, and then you have to do it in parts, and it's just more tedious and annoying. So what you're going to do is I'm going to paste here and I'm going to tell it to create an ebook outline for this ebook. Okay. So create an ebook outline for LinkedIn newsletters, how to attract better leads on LinkedIn for entrepreneurs. Okay. So I'm going to click enter and then you'll see the little thinking thing. If you're enjoying this so far, put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in the chat. All right, let me go. Okay, so here. Now, what is the power of this? The power of this is that number one, I'm leveraging my own information. So I'm not going to Claude or ChatGPT and telling it to build something generic. These are my own words for 25 minutes that I could build something from. So that's the first and foremost advantage. Number two, it helps me organize faster. So, as we can see here, the introduction, the power of LinkedIn newsletters, overview of strategies, chapter one, setting up your newsletter. This was exactly what we covered: creating share worthy newsletter content, promoting your newsletter, growing your subscriber list, converting newsletter subscribers to leads, and managing your growing list. And then a conclusion. So now what I'll do is I could take this outline over there, but I don't need to yet. I'm going to start breaking it down. So I'm going to say, create an introduction to this ebook, and then let's see how it does. We're always going to modify it after its first draft. So LinkedIn is home with its huge user base. It's a prime platform to generate leads. Okay. LinkedIn newsletter feature allows you to publish regular articles. Yep, we went through that. The ebook will teach you how to maximize newsletter for lead generation. Okay, ways to build your subscriber list, whether you're just getting started. Okay, so I needed to add some information within the transcript about me and Shankar, all right? Add some information about the two authors, Shanae and Shankar. So I'll actually put full names. All right, let's see. And as you can see, this is what we shared in the video. So if you haven't watched the video, it's kind of, but if you go and watch it later, you'll see that it's very aligned with what was shared because in the beginning of the video, I say, my name is Shanae Ray. I have more than 265,000 newsletter subscribers. So it's getting that right. The other thing I wanted to do is you always want to get it to like a readability level like 6, maybe 7, maybe less depending, but we'll just keep it there for now. And then active voice. So I always want to write in active voice, rewrite in active voice. Okay. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to rewrite it a little bit more for my prospects. So rewrite for established business owners who depend too much, let's see, on referrals and who are ready to build a personal brand. If you're enjoying this so far, put something in the YouTube chat so I could go back and see later. So you see how I tweaked it? So I said, do it for business owners who depend too much on referrals. And then it says, as an established business owner, you may have gotten comfortable depending on word of mouth referrals and your existing client base to sustain your business. but this passive approach is risky in today's competitive marketplace. To thrive and keep growing, you need to actively build awareness of your personal brand piece. Okay. And then this is where LinkedIn newsletters can make a changing difference. Now, I want to add one more nuance, and this is where really knowing your audience and um, being a real expert in what it is that you do is important, because I know that my audience too often neglects building their own private email list. I also know that they may also get overwhelmed thinking about establishing and building a newsletter in their private email list. So I want to put that advantage to them in the beginning. So I want to say, number one, it's a new feature. Number two, LinkedIn basically pushes it out for you. And number three, it could be leveraged to then build your private email list. So I wanted to highlight these points. Please highlight the following points. For one, easy to start the newsletter. At two, LinkedIn pushes it out to all your followers for you. Three, LinkedIn sends subscribers an email on your behalf. So it is a way to reach their inbox. Four, it is a way to build your private email list. Okay. So it just did the key benefits kind of at the end. So we're going to tell it to fix it. So I'm going to say, don't just list the key benefits, add them naturally to the context of the introduction. Okay, so now it's doing what I want, right? Because now it's just naturally weaving the benefits kind of how I just asked it to do. When you publish your first newsletter, LinkedIn automatically pushes it out to all of your existing followers. This allows you to easily distribute your expertise to a targeted audience. LinkedIn also handles sending your newsletter emails on your behalf, helping them reliably reach your subscribers' inboxes, right? So it didn't just list them at the end. Okay. But when it did that, it removed the little intro from me and Shankar. So I'm going to tell it to add us again, and then we'll be done with this intro. So please add who Shanae, Ore, and Shankar are to the introduction, and rewrite it all in active voice. So once I'm done with the introduction, then I can move to the first, chapter, then the second chapter, then the third chapter. And I have 15 minutes, so we won't go through the whole thing, but it's good that you at least saw the introduction. But I will show you like how to pull the quotes and how to do the carousel. Okay, this is good. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to the Notion. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the ebook and I'm going to click here. Now, even within the ebook part of the Notion, I could divide it into pages of like intro, chapter one. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this. And then I'm going to do this. And then I could go and edit it later. But I wanted you to see what that would look like. Okay, so now let's do a list of quotes. and then I'll actually show you how to schedule them on LinkedIn. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract a list of 10 quotes. Give me a list of 10 quotes for business owners from this transcript. Okay. Okay, so these quotes make no sense, right? So I'm going to say add context to each quote so they make sense. Reader who has no context. And then what I'm going to do, because LinkedIn is heavy about starting conversations, I'm going to say at the end of each quote, please add a question that could spark a conversation with my LinkedIn network. And if you're liking this, especially if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit yes, and just put your questions also in the chat. I'll get to your questions. Okay, so they're getting better and better here, right? So the way that you would schedule something like this is, let me see which one. The LinkedIn newsletter could become the biggest driver for building a private email list. Okay, so this, right? I'd go to LinkedIn, and then what I could do is click start a post, and then I could just go like this, and then I could click schedule. And then let's say I want to schedule it for today at 12. I could click next and then click schedule. Done. Okay. So let's go back to Claude, and then you would just pick and choose, right? And you could tell it, I don't like these. Give me more, right? Um, all right. So now create, I like to say a step-by-step guide on how to start a newsletter on LinkedIn from the information shared in this transcript. So from the guide, we could come up with the steps needed for the carousel. And this is right. You have to activate creator mode. This is exactly what we shared. All right. So then I could take something like this, I could put it into my Notion, and then I could have someone on my team who creates carousels create a carousel showing exactly this. And there's so much more that we could do with just this one transcript, which is why it's so powerful to leverage your own words with AI. It makes it that much more authentic. Um, it makes it that much more. It helps your personal brand in by attracting the people that you are probably best suited to serve, especially not just skill set wise, but personality wise, values wise, morals wise, so on and so forth. So I could take this, okay, so it gave me a step by step guide, and I could say, now turn this step guide into a carousel for social media. And I say the purpose of the carousel is to get viewers to go to my YouTube channel and watch the training on how to launch a LinkedIn newsletter. And it could be any purpose, right? But let's just say that was my purpose for this one. I'm making this up on the fly. Okay, so it's telling me like what to actually put, but I'm gonna say you missed some information, right? So, like make each image and slide more robust. Previous step-by-step guide, and then put your questions in the comments on the YouTube stream, and I will get to them shortly. Yeah, this is much better. That's basically all the steps that we went through too, and that's 25 uh, minute training. So I could take this one, or I could actually just take this one. Depends, right? I'll probably just take this one. And then I could go here, and here's the carousel, and then my team can create it. All right. I have 10 minutes. So I'm actually going to stop sharing and let's answer your question. Yes. Okay. So, all right, let's wow, there's a lot of questions. Oh, I love it. Everyone, this is the most people I've ever had on a YouTube live so far. So it's a win. This YouTube journey is going to be amazing. Okay, so first question is chaos. This is freaking gold. I appreciate you. Um Solid lighting. I'm still figuring out the lighting. Still figuring it out. Okay. So she uploaded her video transcript on Claude and prompted it to make an ebook outline. Yes. And it doesn't have to be a video transcript. But I ideally, like for me, the way that I see it is if I'm going to do audio, I have to be set up anyway, right? Because you don't want the wind or just loud noises to be in your audio if you want a great audio experience for your listeners. So if I'm going to do audio, I might as well do video to have the video asset for a video training. And then what I did is I just uploaded the video into Descript. You have to wait maybe 5 minutes for the transcript to be produced, but it's pretty simple. Again, I only recommend Descript if you actually do some video editing, but you could use Otter.ai just the same. So if you only wanted the transcript, you didn't want to do editing or anything like that, you don't need Descript. You could use Otter.ai. One thing to note is I heard that OpenAI, which is the creator of ChatGPT, they just put some investment behind Descript. So I don't think Descript's going anywhere anytime soon, by the way. Sapita, this is awesome. Yes, hit the like button. I see some people saying that. Yes, this AI is only available in the US. What about the other regions? Yeah, so Claude is only available in the US, but you know, I'll show for like 3 minutes how I would do it with ChatGPT. And it could be with ChatGPT 3.5 or 4. Now, the only thing with 4 is obviously you're limited. So now they've upped it, and I see that it's 50 messages every 3 hours instead of the previous 25 every 3 hours. But what I would do is more or less the same. let me share my entire screen. I'd go to Descript. Now, we could try the 25-minute transcript for ChatGPT. I don't know if it will do it, but we'll try it. Let's do it. And I would say create an ebook outline for LinkedIn newsletters, how to attract their leads on LinkedIn, leveraging this transcript. Right. Now, the thing with ChatGPT too is when you paste in Claude, it's just going to show you um, like the little box. With ChatGPT, it'll show you everything. So you see, as we can see, this message you submitted was too long. Please reload the conversation and submit something shorter. That's because of the token limit of ChatGPT. So what we have to do, it's a little bit more tedious, but what we have to do is instead of grabbing, let's say, 25 minutes, we could grab, let's try 9 minutes. Okay. The only nuance is that really now it can't produce the entire outline. So I would have to ask it for like the intro in the first chapter. This is just where you just have to play with it a little bit more if you're going to leverage ChatGPT. So I would say create. I'll try ebook outline and see what it comes up with, but just know that it's going to really be 1/3 of the outline for LinkedIn. Check better leads for entrepreneurs. Okay. So it was able to do the 7 minutes or whatever. And then it's chapter 1, understanding the power of LinkedIn newsletters, setting up your newsletter. Chapter 3, designing a high quality LinkedIn newsletter. Chapter 4, how to grow your LinkedIn newsletter. So, okay, so it's using, so in terms of case studies, it was more nuanced because I showed 2 newsletters in this training, and I show you the CEO of LinkedIn, and then I show you Richard Branson, and then mine. All right. So then what I would kind of do the same thing. I'd say, write the introduction for the ebook. And it says, my name is Shauna Ray. uh, and it got this wrong too. So it says, my name is Shauna Ray, and I'm the owner of a marketing agency in San Antonio, Texas. No, I'm not. That's Shankar. Okay. So um, it's less able to identify the different speakers versus Claude. LinkedIn newsletters, how to track better leads, aims to guide you step by step. Through the chapters of this book, I'll teach you how to treat your LinkedIn profile not as a simple social media page. Okay. I would just, tweak it just like we did with Claude, but you could still do it. You just have to do it in parts. So I hope that makes sense. All right. Do you prefer Claude or ChatGPT? I think ChatGPT reigns supreme for data and for more nuanced things. Like I'd say case studies, probably, data analytics, more high needy prompts. Like if you're gonna do like higher value things, like I think if you're gonna sit there and really go back and forth with it, it's good. It's still better. But just with simple language stuff like an email or a lot of social media stuff, probably ChatGPT because the original output is so much more natural. And if you don't know I don't know if they're the number one still, but one of the investors in Anthropic, which is the creator of Claude, is Zoom. So when you think about how much data Zoom has with natural language and communication, not necessarily written, but spoken, it may be why it's so much more natural from the get-go. Okay. Amazing live, Shanae. Thank you. I'm watching from India. Welcome to YouTube. Yes. Favorite ChatGPT plugins. I don't have any favorites yet. A lot of the ones that I've used are clunky and only work like half of the time. Um, so I don't have any favorites yet. But when I do have a favorite, I'll be the first one to share it. More lives like this, please. Do you want more lives like this or just about LinkedIn? Or because I want to actually start doing this on YouTube almost every morning. And see, most of you only know me for LinkedIn, but if you're in my community, you know that there's so much more that we do. More sessions on different AI. All right, awesome. So I do have to go for my private community meeting at 11, but I love you all. Put your questions in the chat on the YouTube. If you're listening on LinkedIn, go to the YouTube and watch the training. You could see my screen and see me going through the process. And I'll be live tomorrow around the same time on YouTube.